Hey there guys, it's Metro, and today we're back with what is going to be the final dungeon video of pre 7.2. I didn't even think about this when I started making these videos and recording these. This is not really going to work anymore, is it? Because the whole thing I was doing was, this was predicated on the third affix being a challenging thing for most pugs, and I wanted to pug it purely, but now in 7.2 that's going to change. So we're going to talk a little bit about that in the video. I'm already getting back to like talking about off-topic subjects in these videos, but we'll talk about the Dungeon 2 first real quick. It is 11 plus 11 Eye of Azshara, and it's a BM Hunter, Windwaker Monk, and Fury Warrior. So this is a good comp. I really like this comp. I'm a huge fan of Beast Mastery, guys, as you could tell if you played with me or you've seen me talk about them in the past. And Fury Warrior and Windwaker were two things that we talked heavily about in the tier list, so it's something to describe. But even cooler is a Vengeance Demon Hunter. Now, this is a class that I really would like to have time to play more, and I'm hoping to do so in the future here. But yeah, I haven't really gotten my Vengeance Demon Hunter very geared, so it's kind of difficult to say, whether or not I like them yet or not, but I think they're really cool, really active. And also in the dungeon, we're back to the affixes from the first video set. This is from a couple weeks ago now. So yeah, it's Volcanic and Raging and the, whatever, the boss one, Tyrannical, right? So yeah, that's, this is easily my worst set. Like, I don't know. I really hate overflowing. I really do hate it, but I'm not very good at Volcanic, guys. I really need to, I don't know if there's like a weak or something like that to help me out, because I'm so used to, in 5-mans, like focusing on things that I focused on for years, but now all of a sudden there's something under my feet and I get hit by it constantly. So this would be a good opportunity to critique my play. There's one thing that's going to happen on the boss. We'll talk about that when it does, but otherwise pretty standard. Just going to go burst mode, and we do have no lust, which is bad if you ask me. So the freaking BM Hunter doesn't even have Bloodlust. But anyway, let's talk about 7.2 for a little bit while we can. The things that are changing in 7.2 are revolving around like basically bringing dungeon difficulty up so it doesn't turn into mop, where you see, yeah, there's Volcanic out under the melee there. I got hit by it again. Anyway, I guess it's the ads putting it out too. It's going to be difficult to get all these topics in. Anyway, 7.2 is changing dungeons to make them harder. And they're also going to give gear that is commensurate. I believe Mythic 0 is going to give 865. Now, frankly, I haven't really looked into this change much because I didn't think there was much to look into. But I wish I had, because I did not actually take into consideration how much this was going to affect me. I usually just do the 15 for the week to get the max from the cache, and then do these pugs whenever I have time to record. But now that's going to change things significantly. Obviously, 15 will not, I assume, will not be the max anymore. I don't know what's even going to be, what's going to give the max, maybe back to 10. I really couldn't say. And what the item level max is, we were talking about this. Obviously, it's going to change at some point with 7.2. More likely when the raid is out, but I couldn't say. So here you go. Watch this. Oh, wait, no. Is this when it's on the hunt? No, it's on the monk, and the ads start moving. Look at, and they move. Ah, rip that guy. That's so shitty. He's going to die to that, by the way, because I didn't even realize it happened. But it's kind of funny looking back at that. I could have bopped him, but I was like, yeah, he's going to hit the ad, so it's perfect. But yeah, anyway, so Now, you guys got to help me out here, all right? This is, if I need your help on one thing, it is this. I need to understand, I know I can look it up myself, but I'd love other people's opinions on these. What the hell is happening in 7.2 with dungeons? What do we know? What's going to change for dungeons? Is plus 10 going to be like incredibly difficult again? What's it going to reward? What's the base item level going to be from it? What's the box going to be from it? Because the problem we're having here, right, is the box is always 15 eye levels higher than what drops from the 5-man. So I don't know, is 15 what's that now? 8, I guess it would be 885. Is that what 15 is now? So, and then in Titan Forge is to 900, right? I think that's how it works, right? So now 885 would be, that baseline would be from 10, I guess. I don't know. I got to look at it on paper. So if 865 is 0, excuse me. I don't think that would be right. I don't know. I really need somebody to math this out for me, because I can't conceptualize this unless I see it on paper. So anyway, yeah, so that's going to change things significantly. That's basically going to make it Well, I don't know. It depends on how hard 10 is. You know, people were saying like this system is going to make like 6 hard again. You know, like the second affix is going to be hard again. And that's awesome. There's new affixes coming. We'll be making a video on that as well. But this also changes a few things for me. I was working on the tier list. I had all the concepts like done and I was going to start recording this week. But then I realized this is not really going to be a good idea. Like I would get it live probably less than a week before 7.2 came out, and then that would change everything. So yeah, we're just going to have to put these on hold. It's unfortunate. I probably should have waited on the damage one as well, but that's fine. We could remake it. We could do another damage one at some point if we have to, but yeah, I just don't get these out fast enough. That's the biggest problem. But yeah, 7.2 is going to add Karazhan and a new dungeon, so 3 new Mythic pluses. So that's another, you know, those are more mechanics basically to deal with, and I really don't know. You know, Karazhan's an awesome raid, but I don't know what it's going to be like on a fast run. I don't know what the 4 boss like spread is going to be. Yeah, I don't actually know that. Has anyone done Mythic plus Kara? What 4 bosses are there going to be? I guess it's Ataman, Moros, Maiden, and I don't even know. Is Curator going to be the first boss on top? I'm not sure. So anyway, we will figure that out together, I assume. I'm actually quite looking forward to Mythic plus Karazhan. I'm quite looking forward to the new dungeon as well, which you saw I made a small video on a while ago, but mostly a topics video. It wasn't actually a video on the dungeon. So we'll be doing that hopefully the first day on Mythic 0 and trying that out to get a feel for it, and then maybe seeing if we can't find a key or 2 for that and the new dungeons. Maybe we could do PUG. Yeah, that's a pretty good idea, huh? PUG, Kara, 1 and 2, and whatever, Well of Failure or whatever it's called. Yeah, so we could do those 3 dungeons as PUGs. That could be a good video, a good start to the video for 7.2. But yeah, I don't actually know what I'm going to PUG now. Like, I have to figure this out, right? So as you see there, I get blown off the platform. Monkey's all like, he's like stunned like that. And I'm like, I'm not going to dispel him. I'm just going to deeps. Even though I'm doing shit DPS in this dungeon, I really cannot stand when the bosses are the danger shit, because first of all, it means you got to heal. Second of all, I keep getting knocked up and hit by the volcanic, so fuck that. Just going to bubble to get that off, but I don't know. Azshara is a tough dungeon, I'd say. And, you know, I worry about it on some affixes. This is the dungeon I've been talking about for a while. I wanted to upload this a while ago, but I just never had time to do the commentary. So at the end, we come into something very interesting. Now I got hit by the volcanic there, and I can't actually fucking see it because of these little mounds of dirt. I remember this now. I was really, really pissed about this death because I'm standing there, and even when I watch it back on the recording, I can barely even see it happen. You know, like I should have noticed it, but this is the biggest issue for me. I'm just having trouble focusing on things like, I don't know, it's just way too often. It happens way too often, and it's very difficult to focus on that and the actual damage and healing that I need to do. Basically, if I have, you know, one real drawback as a 5-man healer, it's that I just can't, I struggle to do all of these things at once. Because, you know, I've come off from a situation where, I mean, as far back as Classic, right? 5-man healing was literally just heal the tank over and over and over and over again. And over the years, I didn't really do a lot of 5-man healing. So I'm still in this kind of like mindset where it's like a one-track mind mentality, really, you know? It's like, okay, well, I could do this very well. And then I could do this. I have to do this too? Okay, moderately well. But then when it's the third thing, like constantly watch my feet for fucking volcanic, it gets to be a bit difficult for me. I'm switching between a DPS, like full-time DPS, still trying to do, I mean, I still did 257k even though I was dead. Still trying to do full-time DPS and heal a lot, you know, especially on plus 11 PUG. You know, we got a Vengeance Demon Hunters that are taking some damage. So I have to do a good amount of healing on the tank and the whole group in general, and then I have to switch between actual damage as well. So yeah, I struggle a bit, but luckily this group is quite good, as you can see. You saw in the previous boss kills. All three of these specs are very strong right now, guys. A lot of people made a very serious case for BM in the tier list. Like I said, I think I valued Hunter quite well. They're very versatile right now, guys. Hunter has all 3 specs doing quite well, and there you go. The monk, I'm not even really sure. It's not skittish yet, is it? It's skittish this week, so I was confused to see him die there. But regardless, yeah, it's, you know, it's a tough dungeon. There's a lot of trash, some weird problems. So with like trash mob count, right? So if I think the birds are giving, I think that's a 7.2 change as well. The birds are going to be giving mob count in 7.2, and they don't now, I guess. So that's, another thing I don't know a ton about. But if anybody does know anything about mob count in here, let me know, because, watch what we do here and tell me ways that we could have improved it. This is another big thing. I wanted to cover this from day one in the beta. I wanted to be able to make like comprehensive guides on mob count, mob per mob, for each dungeon. But the problem I found was it was difficult to record. First of all, like, probably my least favorite thing about the Mythic Plus system is that you can't just go do them whenever you want. You have to find somebody with the precise key that you want to do. So it was very difficult to record these on a difficulty where I knew there would be no mistakes made. And I actually tried to do it, all right? And I only really got through like 2 or 3 dungeons mapping them out. And then when I would go to record them, I would be in groups that weren't doing it the same way every time. Like, I tried to do it like 3 or 4 different times, and they wouldn't follow the route that I wanted to follow. So I tried them as a tank, first of all. And they wouldn't follow, like, people were disagreeing with the route, complaining about it. So then I'm starting to think, I was like, maybe this isn't a very good idea, because if people are complaining about it in the PUGs, then maybe there is no optimal way. Maybe there is no one way that everybody should do it, So I kind of just scrapped the idea. That was like fucking 4 weeks into the expansion. So, yeah, I don't know. It's something I think, like, I've seen a few sites try to do, like, I don't know, give like a detailed map. I think that would work way better. Honestly, I think a text version of that would work way better. But regardless, if you guys could help me out with that, just tell me. If you see us do something that you would not recommend, or maybe I don't think we're over mob count. We might be. I have to try to pay attention to that. But here we aggro this fucking guy. So right out of the gate, that's a terrible, terrible idea. I'm pretty sure we wiped to this, and this may actually be one of the reasons we don't 3-chest it. But I'm fairly certain we wiped to this. So I also don't have the eye levels at this point. I hadn't figured out exorcist yet to get that working, but. Regardless, I think these guys are fairly geared. As you can see here, Windwaker, Warrior is just really taking over right now. I'm not sure. I guess it's from the cleave and stuff. But, yeah, we are in no chance really here. And once again, yeah, use wings on the pull. So don't have it up here. Actually, we definitely would have survived. The Hunter's way out of range. I'm trying to find him. It's difficult to navigate the minimap on this because they keep moving you around. But... yeah, that we probably could have survived this if I had wings up, right? The amount of times I get myself in these situations where I don't have wings and everybody's dying, I don't know. It's hard. It's really difficult. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I am definitely not the best player when it comes to this situation. I think I'm very competent when it comes to just healing, and I'm very competent when it comes to just damage. But there's just something about how my mind works that I struggle to go back and forth for a while, like. If I did 4 or 5 dungeons like this, if I did the same dungeon 4 or 5 times, different dungeons, but like the same group 4 or 5 times, plus 11s 4 or 5 times, by the 5th, I would be so mentally drained. I don't know. I would be very exhausted from it. And I realized this early on in the weeks prior to raids when we were doing zeros and they were like the best gear that you can get. I tried to do every single 0 in one night, all 8 zeros in one night with a group of the guildmates. And by the 7th, I was like a zombie. I literally was a fucking zombie. They were trying to talk to me and I wasn't even like responding to them. It was like I had brain damage. I remember it fiercely, and everybody was like making fun of me for it. They were like joking around. They're like, dude, what's going on with you? And I was like, I'm just toast, man. I don't know. This is just so much mental effort. It's like the most mental effort I've ever expelled in a video game. Having to constantly switch between DPS and healing and DPS. And at the time, the people we were running with didn't know the dungeons at all. Zeros, were actually hard because we were completely undergeared. 10 plus item level lower. Nobody had legendaries. Literally 0 people had legendaries at times. So, yeah, it was interesting. It was quite interesting. So, no artifact weapons. I think we had like two golden traits was what we were aiming for at the time. It was quite tough. So that's one of the coolest things about Legion to me, is that the dungeon difficulty has been really transferable. Like, you could really make these harder and really make them easier based on how like well prepared you are for them. And there's really an infinite difficulty curve. So you know what, man? Fucking love Legion. That's all I can say about it. Just rewatching me. Like, I just love fucking dungeons, man. I can't get over it. How much fun I have in dungeons. And I used to have such a great passion for tanking them. I haven't tanked one in weeks. But dude, I am so in love with healing them now because of, you know, this hardcore mental effort here that we have to put in. Like, this game really tests me, and I think, you know, I think a lot of people can agree that this game has been the source of our greatest passion, our greatest failure, and our greatest success over the last few years. And that's all I can really say about it. It's a really impressive feeling to know that, oh, I've improved my character, I've improved myself, I've improved my play alongside you guys. You guys have helped me out a lot, not necessarily just in comments. Some of you have helped me in game as well, and it's been awesome. It really has been. But anyway, as you can see, the BM Hunter is struggling now. I assume he doesn't have CDs up. He did quite well the previous pull, but regardless, I do really favor BM. If I was going to play a damage dealing spec in a 5-man, I think it would probably be either BM or Elemental. They both seem really fun, but the problem with those things is that I find like it would be hard to get groups for dungeons. What do you guys think? Is it hard to get groups for dungeons as a DPS? I've heard some pretty severe stories of the answer being yes. So, man, this is a tough fight. So at that time I didn't wings on the pull, and look at that. So I'm already learning, guys, and my past self is showing sentience, and it's very good. Yeah, I didn't do much DPS on the pull. I'm still doing, you know, somewhat good DPS. Still more than most classes would without any CDs up. But, yeah, not too bad. I guess I potted, though. I guess I must have used the old war or something. Anyway, yeah, so he's going to submerge. We still got wings up for another couple seconds, but we won't need it. And we, yeah, I wouldn't say we saved the group there, but I did want to make sure that we didn't wipe again. So I think that's the right play, right? Like, the DPS, especially on this boss, isn't needed. If there's one fight that I could switch to, like, pure healing talents for and then switch back afterwards, it would be this one. Every other boss in the dungeon is a pretty good target for my DPS. My burst, especially, would be effectively useful on a lot of, you know, pretty much every boss in here. But this one is really tough because there's a lot of movement. Players are going out of range very regularly, and it's difficult to keep up with everyone. So if I switch to Rule of Law and, you know, had a little bit more healing potency as well from Judgment of Light, then this would be a lot easier to keep everyone up on this fight. So this is a fight, you know, this is one of my favorite dungeons, but one of my least favorite encounters. I would say it's one of the hardest encounters as well, just because of how spread out, and, you know, there's ads. Look at that. We pulled some little crabs. They're like, rah, 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 rah. Snap, snap, snap. We go, pinch, pinch, as they say, you know. So stuff like that. Not necessarily, not something you want to do during the fight, but luckily the fight is now over, and we could easily slaughter these crabs and have a nice seafood dinner for ourselves. Wouldn't that be cool? Man, I've been playing Breath of the Wild a little bit. Every time I kill one of those crabs, it makes me think like, oh yeah, let's get some meat from it and cook it up. Although I guess that, you know, does happen in WoW too. It's just not as important. Anyway, so yeah, we are going to grab both packs of these here. Very good idea. The raging could become a little bit difficult. Either way, I'm going to drop some consecrate here. Try to get some damage in a little bit, and then we'll fucking, I guess he's going to kite them when they rage or something, but doesn't even matter. He's going to just start, moving around. Volcanic hitting the tank that time. It is still a mess, man. A lot of you guys last time told me that, you know, Volcanic works in a way that it can hit people no matter what, but I guess it, so can anybody confirm now, just second video on this topic, can anyone confirm to me that it's based on the mob position at the time, right? So there's 5 mobs, all 5 of them are spread out. It doesn't matter where you are in relationship to all of them, it only matters where you are in relationship to one of them. Is that right? So like, for example, if it's supposed to favor range, and maybe the better example is there's 2 mobs. One is being tanked, all 5 people are on top of it, and one is being tanked away. Like, one is a little bit farther away. The one that's farther away can still put volcanic. Look at that, 3 volcanics. So I guess, yeah. Maybe that was 4, actually. So, yeah, like, the part that I just don't understand is what's casting volcanic? What's it based on? You know, there's like 11 mobs in that pack, but there's 4 volcanics. Why is that? Who is doing it? Is it the mob? Is it just an overarching aura in the dungeon? If we're fighting 1 mob, is there 1 volcanic? If we're fighting 2 mobs, is there 2? Like I said, is it based on where the mob is? Is it based on where you are? Like, if mob is point A and all players are point A, but then there's a point B about 15 yards to the whatever side, you know, is that mob going to target point A because we're all there? And then is mob A going to target point A as well? I don't know. It's something I just can't seem to figure out. In fact, there's a couple of fixes like this. If I can get some skittish done, well, unfortunately I won't. Yeah, I won't have time to upload any more videos until 7.2. So, but yeah, we did a lot of skittish, not pugs, but with guildies, and I can't seem to understand like how the threat thing actually works. The tank we were running with, who's a very good player, said that the threat works in a way that it's it's always a 80% reduction. But I feel like that's not true. Like, I feel like people get battle rezzed and then still pull threat again. So I don't know. Some of these mechanics just don't work as I expect. You see that clutch Devo, Rising Tide clutch Devo plus 11 raging? Now, I don't know if he was even raged at that point, but that thing will one-shot you on higher Mythic pluses. Absolutely wrecks. That Rising Tide with raging is like pretty much a one-shot if it gets off when it's raged. So I'm not sure if it was even raged there, but regardless, I have still a long way to go. I think a few people have noticed that by now. I love dungeons, but I am certainly no pro. And yeah, like I said, you know, critiquing other people's play is part of the concept here. But really, you know, these last 2 dungeons, there's been nothing to critique. A lot of people are doing quite well. So once again, I'm not going to use CDs here. We're just going to save them because I feel like, you know, I made such a grievous error early on. I just want to make sure that everybody's comfortable. I died a lot in this dungeon. Made a lot of mistakes overall in terms of play. I got hit by a lot of these little volcanics. So that time I'm going to actually use the volcanic hit to get the bubble off me. And I'm going to play like an actual healer. But the cool part about this is when I do need it, I can quickly heal everyone up and then go to do some damage as well. And it's actually not that ineffective. It really isn't. And look, still, even without wings, I'm still doing over 200k. I mean, come on, guys. Holy Paladin's just really freaking strong right now. It's unbelievable. And I don't remember what kind of gear I had at this point. Probably at least 905 equipped. But yeah, I definitely had a lot less points in my weapon than I do now. So it's just really insane how much damage Holy Paladin could do. I think a lot of people agree with that. But anyway, you see the BM Hunter struggling a little bit here on single target. You know, we've seen very nice cleave. Very nice, strong, like, you know, cleave and AoE situation for BM Hunter. They're incredibly potent in that respect. But as you see there, I use wings. And now it's time to go to work. Nobody needs healing. So time to get the last few seconds of wings in on boss damage. And that is just going to increase my DPS quite substantially. And it's a nice thing. You know, it's a really nice thing to have that flexibility. Wings can be the strongest healing CD in the game for 5 mans if you ask me. And it also is, without question, the strongest DPS CD in the game for 5 mans as a healer. So very, very, very cool. I like it a lot, and it's part of the reason I leveled my Discipline Priest, but I can't, you know, I just can't get the hang of playing them with the low gear. So we're waiting for 7.2 on that front, and then we'll see some Discipline Priest. Hopefully more 5 mans in general, at least, you know, maybe I'm going to get live stream more a little bit. I got to find more time, man. I just got to get more time. If anybody knows any way to get more time IRL, let me know. I think there's a few methods. We talked about this. You can build a time machine, which I don't think I have max engineering for. But I'll hopefully maybe be able to find an engineer who could help me build one. Another thing people suggested was I murder everybody I know, so I have no obligations. Now, that's not a bad idea, but I don't, like, some of them would need a res. You know what I mean? Like, I can't, like, it wouldn't be a very good idea. And then that would involve also murdering the cops because it's illegal to do that. So it's a lot of effort. I don't think I have time for that either. Like, that would be a time investment. And I don't think I have the time. Anyway, so the thing that I've been wanting to talk about, the whole reason we're fucking watching this video is watch what happens here on this mob. We're going to get all rooted, and Volcanic is going to hit. I think it might actually be me. So let's watch this. No, it shouldn't be me because I have freedom. So let's watch this. Root. Okay, I freed myself to spell 1. Volcanic is out, and I'm not even showing it. Oh, maybe it's... Oh, yeah, we're like really, really being preemptive here. Watch. Yeah, and there we go. It hit the warrior. So I didn't... Man, I could have swore I got this on film better. But anyway... Oh, no, there we go. See? Look at that. Volcanic, root, dead. I survive it, luckily, but... And we're fucking wiping to this, guys. And so here we go. This is the one example where having a priest, a shadow priest with mass dispel would have actually been incredibly useful. But either way, we weren't clumped up enough, I don't think, to use it. But that's the one example. So the reason I'm making such a big deal about this is in the video I made the tier list, the DPS tier list. I made a big deal saying that shadow priest had effectively no utility because mass dispel was very limited in its usage. So I'm sure there'll be people who refute that again here, but the point is that it has no discernible usage that can't also just be covered by a healer over time. There's almost no benefit to dispelling 5 things at once in any dungeon. Anytime there is, it's almost negligible, and Yeah, there's really only two good cases. One was the boss in Court of Stars, first boss in Court of Stars, and second one was here. And now we only recently found out about this one, so that's awesome. So I try to drink, but we pull the boss. So let's go fucking beast mode. Oh, wait, are we not going to pop wings? Oh, come on, Metro, don't be a bitch. Wow, I'm really a bitch in this one. That's unbelievable. This is bitch mode right here if I've ever seen it. I can't believe I'm not going to wings here. This is the boss to wings, guys, because this boss is so low anyway. You know, everybody's going to do berserk damage. Like, look at this. So we're going to just split this. Still have wings up. Man, what a little kid I am. I can't believe I'm such a little kid. This is an embarrassing video. Don't do what I'm doing here, guys. Pop wings on the pull if you have it up on this boss especially. But yeah, anyway, obviously playing ultra conservative. Just don't want to wipe here. I know these damage dealers are quite strong. I guess that's the difference. Because if we wipe here, we lose 2 chests. So I really didn't want to risk it, I suppose. But anyway, yeah, once again, BM Hunter struggling a bit on single target. Hard to say, though. You never know their damage or their gear. But Warrior, this is a fight for Warrior if I've ever seen one. And I guess Monk too to some degree, but yeah, Warrior, oh, look at the executes. Oh boy, look at that, climbing the charts, and they are really strong on this fight, man. Boss being in execute range the whole time is really, really tasty for a good Warrior, I'm sure. And yeah, overall, this fight is a really cool fight. I really like this encounter. It's not my favorite fight to do, but it's a really cool design, like a concept-wise for a fight. The fact that you're kind of getting blown all around and all the mechanics are kind of position-based. It's actually quite fun because there's nothing else too punishing about it. It's kind of like the Hydra boss, but on purpose. You know what I mean? Like, that boss is clearly not, I don't know, it clearly wasn't designed with that stupid wind thing happening. And you could do it without the wind, so I think a lot of people consider that. But anyway, I still do decent damage. What's that, 300? No, 200. I don't know, I still do some decent damage, so nothing to sneeze at. Very good overall dungeon, I would say. Like I said, you see Warrior, very strong. One of the strongest damage dealers in the video game right now. Absolutely impressive every time you see a Warrior playing well, you know you're going to get a good dungeon out of it. DPS can make up for a lot of problems. And Windwaker, also quite strong, but yeah, so look at that. Look at that execute. Unbelievable. That is so much damage. It's unreal. And that basically only happens because that boss, you know, so... yeah, there you go. Great case for Warriors' strengths, and that's going to be it. So thanks for watching, guys. Next video will be in 7.2, au revoir, as they say in Germany, and we'll see you guys there. Hopefully, it'll be on some of the new dungeons and maybe the new affixes as well. But until then, which I assume is going to be maybe a week or two, we'll know by the time this video is up, but at the time I recorded it, I don't know. So see you later.